Welcome back to the Clock Shop. This is Jim with JR Clocker on eBay. Let's see what happened at the Clock Shop this week.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Jim with JR Clocker on eBay, and I am just going to go over some practices that I do when I'm evaluating a clock movement for a customer, client, something I bought, and when I try to answer questions for people. This is really will encapsulate a lot of what I look at. So let's get started.
Okay, let's take a look at one. We'll look at a Ingram movement that is going to need bushings, and I just make sure that you have a little spring there wound up so you can get a backup. So what I'm doing is taking the pressure off of the pivots to show where in the bushings. Okay, if you look at this one and you look at this one, you can see those pivots moving within the bushing. That needs to be rebushed. I look at the springs. The springs don't look so bad. They're newer. They're not original, but anyway, that's how I look at an American movement. Now I'll show you something that's actually kind of interesting, because this movement here, this is a Hernley. It's a JX, somewhere in the mid-90s. And this has bronze bushings. Okay, this is only a two-spring time and strike. Talking about just doing both. Now, this is wound down right now, but when I tested it, and the big thing with the balance is when it's running, is it beating at 9,000 beats per hour, because that's what it needs to be to run good. You'll see these clocks start running fast when they start getting wear in here. I can't see any wear, but look at it's kind of just cruddy dirty, but it's a good usable movement. So I would be happy with this particular one. Anyway, and this is a 140-040, and this will be actually coming up on eBay. So I'm going to put that over here. Here's a time only. This is a Gilbert, but this needs a lot of work. Now this clock I just bought out at an auction locally, and I sent my wife over to bid on it, and this one needs a lot of bushing work, but we will overhaul it. And the case is nice, the pendulum is very nice. So my evaluation of this movement here is, let's do the work. We'll probably put a new spring. This looks like an original spring on it. Darker has a tendency to be more original. This is probably from the 30s, 1930s. Anyway, it's a schoolhouse clock. It's really nice, and they're popular, and it has pretty decent power, but it's going to have a lot better power when I get done with it. I do have a pendulum wire for it, and but I have that along the side here. I just did a preliminary clean just to take a peek of it, and somebody named Ralph, I believe, owned it at one point in time. And look, needs some work on this side too. See how loose that is. Okay, so that's a clock that needs bushing work, but not bad. I'll show you a big movement. I'm gonna All right, this is a big movement here. This is a Yorgos grandfather clock movement. Just took it out of a clock. Actually did a replacement. And this is really where this this movement can be overhauled. I have a hard time saying that I could make it as good as the day it was made. The clocks like this Ingram and that, I can, but they're not as complicated. This is a very complicated movement. It is a weight driven on cable, but when I look at stuff, the clock, the first thing I do when I get to the house and I'm examining it is I look, I play with the center weight, and I look to see, I don't know if you guys can see, this is very loose. Now, when I turn it over, you can see where it's really loose. Let's see. See that one right there? That's the center. That's the hand arbor. Hand pivot. Now, if that's loose, there's more loose. But there may be so much dirt that I can't really pick out the loose ones. But that one right there says rebuild or replace. And I prefer to replace them because they still make this clock movement. Yorgos doesn't make it, but Hermle does. Hermle now makes this movement to replace Yorgos, and they make very good ones. That's another story, a whole new video I can talk about. I'm going to show you this one more time here. See it? It's right there, right by my thumb. Watch. This clock won't run. This movement won't run. And I'm not going to sit here and peen it like people might. I'm just going to replace it. And I gave him a quote. This clock was about 3 weeks ago. I gave them a quote for replacement with a 3-year warranty. They were happy with the 3-year warranty. And by the way, this came out of a really, really, really beautiful clock. So it was well worth the cost. And they get a 3-year warranty. In the first 90 days, if there's a problem with the movement, I mean, Hermle just replaces it. They just send me new movement. That's a little bit I wanted to tell you about how I evaluate. Some people in a spring-driven movement, like a Hermle spring-driven movement, they have a spring break, and they ask me to send them a new barrel or spring or whatever I do, and I do, and then they'll write to me and they'll say, still not working. Well, this video is just to help you determine what your issue might be. And most likely, one, you can take the year. There's a little number on the back. This Hermle has a letter, and the letter is J, which makes sometime in the mid-90s. This one must not have been used a terrible amount because it's still pretty good shape. And on this one here, the second wheels are the ones that are have the bronze bushings. They're the ones that usually go out on this type of a clock. Sometimes it's just not the springs. Even with the spring broken, sometimes the clock needs a little bit more and it may need to be replaced. If you're just starting out, if you're working with Hermle, you're best to start with this kind of a movement with only 2 trains. We call trains, each spring or weight controls a train. And this is a 2-train movement. And then there's 3 trains. And there's a single train because our Gilbert
Time only is a single train clock movement, and just for a little technical advice. And I may take you along on this one. I'm going to overhaul it, show you the case and the reasons. I'm going to tell you right now, we paid $25 for it, and we'll go over that later. We were willing to go to $50 for it because you got to figure that they need work, and this kind of work here, for a shop clock, I charge $150. But normally to a client it would be somewhere probably around $350. But I charge for my work, and that goes into the cost of the clock, and that's reflected in what we sell it for. Hours are hours. Remember that in this business. You can't do stuff for free, even for yourself. Charge yourself as well. Other news, I mean, I want to do some videos that talk about if you're in business or you're thinking about doing this, pursuing this as a business. And hopefully I'm talking to people that are in their 20s and 30s when they start, because that's when I was. That was my age. And I can talk to older adults that want to do it maybe in retirement and take some time and look at the business and what you can do in the business. I'll be honest with you. This replacing grandfather clock movement is, it's a great thing. It's profitable. Once you learn it, it takes you a little time to kind of get your feet wet. But once people find out about you, you'll be very busy. Because if you're in a moderate area, now I'm not in anywhere close to a big city or anything like that. We have the Lehigh Valley is pretty, there's a fair amount of people here, but it's not crowded by any means. It's not New York City, it's not Philadelphia, although we're close to both, a couple hours away. They just haven't had any service here for a long time, so or what service they had, sketchy, whatever. We've been open for now almost 3 years. My other clock shop that I had, we had been open for 9 years, and then I took a hiatus for doing private commission work for 20. So it's been fun to get back. My oldest son wanted to learn the business and wanted to learn repair, and that's what got me back, really doing it full time and having an open shop and everything. And I got to do another shop tour because things are changing all the time here. If you look right behind me, that's some of the clocks that we have in here. I believe, I'm trying to look here, somewhere around 70 clocks we have right in for repair right now. So we're pretty busy. We're really, really busy. But we're happy. If you look back here, it's where my first repair area. I do watch stuff right there. And I do not take in watch repair. I'm a seller of parts and movements and cases and some watches here and there, not very often. And so I use that room back there for that. I don't know if I ever had any videos done in that room, but it keeps me busy. This whole place keeps me busy. I have officially 4 benches here, and when I need to get away, I have a bench back in our old offices in a building that's on the grounds of our home, and I'll work there when I really need to get away and get some stuff done. Anyway, just wanted to drop a notice. been a little bit of time. Try to get more content up. But again, we've been crazy busy. Had all intentions to doing more video up in New Hampshire at the Northeast Regional. It was a nice show. It was a very nice show. If you can get up there, it's a good time to go there. Spring, and it's a beautiful area. Jeff and I drove back the long way via Albany, New York, and which I had never been that way before, so it was really nice to see Vermont and New Hampshire, Vermont, upstate New York. It was nice. It was very nice. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, comment. Please comment anything that's on your mind as far as horology goes, please. I don't need to hear about your cat or anything like that. But anyway, just put any comments in what you'd like to see done, maybe, whatever. All right, thanks for stopping by, and we'll see you next time.